Hi, I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms, and I want to welcome you all to my channel. Today is going to be another DIY for resale. So I take some ideas that I have, and I'm going to show you how to do them. These are items I'm going to be reselling in my vendor booths. So if this is something that you do enjoy, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so that when I do release a video every Monday and Friday, you'll be notified. And at the end of the video, tell me what your thoughts were on this. Is it something that you would buy, you would make? Would you do something different? Let me know. I love feedback. So go ahead, enjoy this video. I have my fabric, and I love finding cool fabrics. I always am stocking up because I love to make accessories for my booth. So I make pillows and just little ends, odds and ends, sometimes tablecloths, whatever I need for my booths. So when I came up with this idea of making these trees and these ornaments, I broke out some different fabrics. So I found the fabrics, and then I decided to make some patterns. So initially, to make the one item we're gonna make, I created a pattern, basically very simple, to make it look like a tree. The other patterns I made were just out of paper. So I have the patterns, or the templates, made for those. And to start off, we're gonna cut them out. So I'm going to show you how that we do that, and then I'll show you how we're going to sew them up. To start the project, I did turn the fabric inside out. Now I'm going to take my pattern, and I am going to, I just want to make sure you guys can see this. I'm going to lay it out like so, and I'm going to take a fine tip, like the fine tip Sharpie is what I use. And that is too why I turned it inside out, because when I sew it, I'm gonna flip them together and then sew on the other side, just so that you don't see the marker at all. So we are just gonna trace it, and I try to keep it on a line there. And we'll start up here, and we just try to stay. It does not have to be perfect, because even sewing, I mean, these are supposed to be more rustic looking. So, right, did that. And then over on this side. And what we're doing is we're just, like I said, tracing our pattern to cut out. All right, and then flip it over, and we are going to trace the other side as well. So we'll get 2 out of this. Let me try to get it as close as possible. All right, so then after we cut that pattern out, or after we trace that, we're gonna cut the pattern out. And I always like to have a real nice sharp set of scissors. I buy a bunch of these from actually the dollar store. They're real sharp. When they dull out, then I just go buy another pair. They're only $1. Plus my husband and my child, they tend to disappear, or they use them for projects where they become dull anyway. So this actually, only paying $1 for it versus having a real expensive one really works. So And then what we're going to do is we're going to take them and we're going to flip them like this. And we're going to put them together like so. And then we're going to pin them and then we're going to sew them this way and we're going to try to fray the edges. The other fabric's frayed real easy. I'm not sure if this is going to fray that easy or not, or if at all. So we'll see how that works, but here are two of the trees that we're going to sew. So here I'm lining up and I'm starting to sew the trees. And it's just real simple. I just follow along the actual edge of the foot, and I just like follow it along, and it just sews up real nice and easy. And as I'm going along, I just pull out the pins, but this does not take that long, and it's very, very easy. So you can see I get this sewn up pretty quick. Just took me not even a minute, I wouldn't think. I have these two trees. I just want to show you. I am going to use the red from the IOD, and I have this set of stamps. I don't know where I picked it up. I've had it forever. And I'm just going to have it say Joy, and we're going to put it on here. So I just tried it with the chalk paint and it looks good, but now I want to try one of them with the ink and see what the difference is. So again, just line it up, kind of want it offset a bit and rub over that. Okay, so I do like the ink better from the IOD than I do, and I'm so sorry about my cat, you guys. She is extremely addicted to me. She loves me so much that she basically follows me around. But you can see the difference. So this was the chalk paint and this is the IOD. So it's much more crisp. So I definitely like that way better. It still looks good, but even like you can see the ink kind of not bled, but when I rolled the ink on the stamp, it still had a little bit of, must have somehow when I rubbed over it. So that is that. And then on the other one here, I am going to take this. Let's see. I want to use I put snowflakes on it. So this is with the red from the chalk paint. Again, I like it, but let's see the difference between that and the actual ink pad. So we'll just start off. Let's see, I think I did this one first is how I did it. Yep, and I just like to wipe my inks off right away. So, oh, look at that. And here I'm trying to, okay, we'll put that there. And then the small one. So again, I really do prefer, they both look good, but I do prefer the IOD over the chalk paint. So that's that easy. And now I'm going to show you how we go ahead and stuff these and get these all looking like real fun trees. I'm using this Polyfill Crafter's Choice, just this fiber fill. And what we're doing is we're just taking it, and I always just try to break it up. The initial to get it up to the point, I think is like by far the hardest to get it in there. So I put a little in there. I take my scissors and I kind of just work my way up. And I try to spread it out. I try not to put too much up because it kind of gets like, kind of clumps together in a way, and it gets stuck up there is what it does. So let's see, I'll just, as you can see, I'm just working it up there, and all right. And the scissors really help because it's just a nice, it's like almost like the perfect point. And then what I do is I pull it back if I just take this tip of the scissors and I just pull some of that back if I think it's not getting all the way up in there. All right. And like I said, to get this started, I think is the hardest part. And there, it's probably as close as we're gonna get it. And then the tops are kind of beboppy, I guess is a good way to put it. Beboppy, or just like not as hard. So like even this top too is kind of, I like it though. I think it looks cool, or kind of my style. I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna make a set of these for myself too. So I'm making the ones now for my booths, and then later on when I have a little bit more, well, when I have a little bit more time, you guys, I don't have time. No, just kidding. I'm constantly trying to manage my little small business and just life in general. So it's all good though. I just find I think I'm finally feeling balanced with some of it. So that's good. All right. So when I get it to this point where it's like partially filled for both of them, you can see what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back and I am going to sew up to here and sew up to here, and then we're going to put a wood dowel in here, and we're going to also take I hope I still have them. We're going to take these rounds, these thicker rounds that I had in the I had them in my garage. So I had them from, I was actually at the dump getting rid of some just like brush from the yard and all these clippings, and this lady was gonna get rid of them all. She had cut them all for her wedding, and she cut big rounds, and I use them as like pieces to display things on, so it just adds stuff. But so I'm hoping I still have those in the garage, and we're gonna use that as the base, and we're gonna put the dowel on that, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna put it all together. So I found those pieces that I was talking about. They're just chunks of wood, and I found these dowels at the Walmart. What we're gonna do is we are going to put the dowel, a portion of it inside, and we're gonna glue the edges, and then we're gonna hot glue that dowel there with some wood glue as well. So I'm going to get started and show you. The longest one would be this one. So we're gonna take this side, and what I'm gonna do is just work it on up inside of this. So we're gonna work it on up inside of there, and kind of, yep, good stability. I like it. Actually, might even add a little bit more of that poly to the bottom before I go ahead and do the hot gluing of it. So got that all on the big one. Now let's do the medium one, okay, which is this size. And like I said, I'm just working the dowel up the center through that poly, which it's kind of a pain, but there, got it in there. Okay, so then I got a nice little tree so far. I like that. And then the smallest right here, we're gonna put in, and like I said, just kind of like I rotate and I push and try to feed it right on in up in there. This poly is like thick. And there you have it. So now I'm gonna get the hot glue and I'm gonna show you from here. All right, so I have the hot glue gun and I'm just going to put some hot glue in here around the edges and just close that off. It's really that simple. And now I'm taking my hot glue and I'm putting a little dab on the end of the dowel and then just letting it dry on the round. And I'm gonna keep on adding a little bit more of the polyfill in there after I get that dowel in there, and then just hot glue the ends just like so. And again, just a little dab of hot glue on the very end and then let it dry. It worked so good and it seems like it's holding pretty good. I also thought about adding just a little bit of wood glue around the bottom just to give it a little bit stability. The other thought I had was I was going to take my brad nailer and try to shoot one brad nail from the bottom of the round up. But I'd have to be extremely accurate in where I put that brad nail. But I also thought that would have been a very good option. I loving how these turned out though. For the very last project here, I am showing you guys the tree that I brought to the Cranberry Fest. So basically I took and I cut on my miter saw 6 pieces, and the first piece I did do was 18 inches wide, then I staggered it 16, 14, etc. And so how I did that is I cut all the pieces and I started off and I painted them. What I do is I like to paint both the front and the backs. You guys know how I'm a stickler when it comes to finishing the products. So I found these colors. Oh, I grabbed the wrong green. This is blue. I grabbed the, well, we're gonna have one this color. I thought I grabbed I put them all in, I put them in these bottles, but I think I grabbed like a blue versus there was a green that I wanted, but that's okay. We'll have just a unique colored tree, and it kind of has like a greenish tinge to it too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get these painted. After I paint these, I paint both the fronts and the backs, and then I take them and I like to distress them. So I just take my sander and give them a good little distress. I always like to bring the grain of the wood out. I just think it looks so cool, especially, just seeing some of that grain come through. And then I also take my distressing solution that I came up with for my barn quilts, I take that and I cover, after I sand them and distress them that way, I then distress them with that solution, and it just gives it an aged look, and that's why I like doing that with the barn quilts as well. So and I know that you all have been asking for a tutorial on the barn quilts, and I am working on that. It just takes a little bit longer for the barn quilts because there's a lot more involved, and I want to be pretty thorough with you guys for that. So I just wanted to give you an update on that and let you know that I am in the process. So I definitely I've been working on it, but I've just, like I said, I've been busy as well because I am getting ready. I placed my first order for the DIY paint, and I really wish I would have had the paint when it came to making these trees and the other trees, because the DIY paints are so awesome. They just, the coverage and the bright colors, and it's just, I can't say enough about the paint. So I did find out that today the order has shipped, so I will be getting those in one of my booths right away and in my store. So I'm going to be working diligently to get that all going, and I definitely want to get it in the stores as soon as possible and on my website. I also got the IOD, the stamps that I have ordered out there. I still have to get the inks out there, which I'll be working on next, and I've been loading up all the paint as well. So as soon as the paint is in hand, I can activate all the product, and it will be available to ship. So I'm very, very, very excited. Can't wait to be able to offer all of that for you and show you how awesome those products are. Another video too I'm working on is all the new IOD stamps and products. There are so many cool ones. So, all right. Well, I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to show you how we assemble this. Now I'm adding the backboard to the trees, and I'm using a 1x2. So what I do is I just centerize it down the center here. Look at it just to make sure it's centered. And then I have my screws, not this big one for whatever reason. It's every time I dig in there, I pull it out. And then I just use my screw gun and I just start screwing. For the bottom, I just have a scrap piece of wood, and I just find where the center is, and then I actually take my board and I basically find the center and I put two screws in the bottom. So I'm going to do that to finish this off. And then, like I said, the last step after I have it all put together is I do take my distressing mixture and I just give it a good coat, and then it does take a couple days for it to dry, and then we'll have the tree.
I'm driving down an empty freeway, no waiting for the light to change. I'm seeing the sunrise behind me.
So what was your favorite? Honestly, after all the time that I put into these trees, they were by far my favorite. I love them. I think they turned out great. I love this material, and I actually have others too that I started. I just didn't get to finish for the video, but I love how it like fringes out. I just think it looks so cool. So that was my favorite. I also started doing some ornaments very similar. I will show you that in one of the upcoming videos, but I have to go thrifting as well. So I plan on either doing it tomorrow, probably Sunday. I'll probably do a Sunday thrift day, and then Monday I'll show you everything that I got over the weekend. I'm also going to be busy because Monday my DIY paint will be here, so I want to do a reveal of that as well. And I have to get everything ready because I want to get that into my booth, and I also want to get it up on the website and start showing you guys this awesome paint. So I'm going to be very busy this weekend. The hubby is up north with his friend, and they're doing a guys fishing trip. So I have everything in the house to myself. Well, you guys all enjoy your weekend. I'll be enjoying mine, and we will see you guys Monday. Bye.